That you.
No.
Don't want to. Okay.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the kitchen. Chef Tad here, bringing you another episode of Chopping with Chef. And today we're going a little bit different. And when I say different, go with me on this one. Now remember, bacon is my favorite vegetable. However, we're actually doing something that is just vegetables today. And I promise it's going to be delicious. I promise it's going to taste amazing. And I promise you're not even going to know it's vegetables. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do actually grilled portobello mushroom burgers. So what we got down here, we got all the ingredients for the day. Just gonna highlight a few things here. We got our portobellos, which the portobello is actually the fully grown and mature version of the cremino mushroom, which is just another variety of the common white button mushroom. Now with the portobellos, that stem right there is really, really woody, so you're gonna wanna remove that, and I'll show that later. But if you're ever making kind of vegetable broth or stock, it's good for that. And then we also have ginger, which obviously, if you're not familiar with ginger, it's sold in roots, and sometimes they come very small like this, or other times they look like a hand. Now with the ginger there, it's going to be a peppery, slightly sweet flavor to it, but the aroma, and this is what gets a lot of people, the aroma of it is a very pungent, kind of spicy. It originally originated in Jamaica, but it's also found in India and Africa and China. And then what I also have for the cheese today, which is not Alpier, but it's actually Havarti cheese, and Havarti cheese is a Danish cheese, and if you find it with the rind on, the rind might be a reddish brown or a reddish yellow on it, and it's a very kind of mild or sweet aroma and flavor with that. Now with the cheeses, what we got going on, I chose Havarti because it's more of a whiter kind of cheese. It's not like a cheddar, so it's not a hard yellow cheese, but I would use anything like Havarti. Gouda would be good, Swiss would be good with this, but those are just kind of some of the cheeses that we have going on. So I'm going to marinate the mushroom caps in kind of a soy-based marinade, just to add a lot of flavor or umami into those mushrooms that's already there and really help bring out that natural flavor that the mushrooms have. We're going to top this burger with a red onion jam that I'll show you how to make too. Alright guys, so the recipe for today, as always, is in the description down below. As well are links to my Discord and my Twitch. In the Discord, you're going to find all the recipes that I've done. They're all going to be in a nice little channel there. Feel free to join that, be a part of the kitchen community. Come in, talk about food. I love talking about food. It's one of my favorite things to do. And then I do stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday. Again, hop on in there and you'll be able to just enjoy talking about food, watching me fail at things and other things along those lines. Sometimes Bink shows up, sometimes Michi might show up, but it's really fun there. I encourage you guys to follow those and join me. So with these portobello mushrooms, if they have dirt on them, just wipe off the dirt, and if they need to be washed, just quickly wash them and make sure that they are dry. To get the stem out, you just kind of break it out. That's all I do. Nothing to it but to do it. That's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna make sure you get all that stem out, and then you're just gonna break that out of all the mushrooms. And don't worry if you get some of those gills out, it's not really gonna hurt anything. Best part about this marinade, because this actually isn't meat, you can totally save the marinade. And what we're going to do with that saved marinade, we're actually going to turn it into a sauce. After the mushrooms are done marinating, we're going to pull them out while the mushrooms are grilling. We're actually going to have this marinade in a pan and then kind of put it on the stove for a little bit. We'll let it reduce down, and there'll be a nice flavor to go back on top of these mushrooms. So guys, with the ginger, a lot of people get confused on how to do ginger because it's got a papery skin to it. The easiest way is just to grab your favorite vegetable peeler and you can just peel it. Very simple. We're not going to use a whole lot of ginger in this dish today. And the cool thing is you don't have to peel off all of it. You just need to peel off what you're going to use. And then you can save the rest. And if you could smell the ginger right now, it smells good. It smells really good. It smells very, very good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a microplane and we're just going to grate the ginger. That's all we're going to do. We're going to take that. We're actually going to put it in a bowl, which I already got some brown sugar in there. And we're just going to grate the ginger. Alright guys, so we're going to get the rest of the ingredients in here, and what we're going to do with the thyme and the rosemary, we're just going to leave them whole. and we're just gonna kind of bruise them up to release some of those oils that are in there. So we're just gonna kind of do this again. This is the marinade part. So this is actually gonna come back out before we actually reduce it. But the rosemary you can just break in there. And we're really just trying to break those oils out. But we're gonna get everything else in here. We got our garlic, we got our vegetable stock. I'm gonna put a little bit of Dijon mustard in there, some balsamic vinegar, soy sauce, red pepper flake, and then we're gonna whisk it all up. We're gonna dump it on the mushrooms, and we're gonna let those marinate for about, realistically, they can marinate as long as they want. You can do this the night before, you can do this a couple hours before dinner. I would say bare minimum 2 hours just to get those flavors imparted in there. If you do the overnight route, just be sure to flip the mushrooms around. Depending on the size of your container, the marinade might not all hit it. We're gonna make the onion jam now, and it's gonna be really simple. We're just gonna take some red onions that I have already sliced up, and all you gotta do is cut those in half and then just slice them about that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cook it in a skillet with some oil for about 5-ish minutes until it starts having its liquid come out, and then we're gonna throw some wine in there and some herbs in there, and we're gonna let that sit there and just kind of reduce down. And in the meantime, what we're gonna do in another pan, so you're gonna do two things at once here. What we're gonna do in another pan is make what's called a gas streak. That's just a fancy French word, basically meaning a syrup reduction made with vinegar and sugar of some sort. So it's gonna be super simple, it's gonna be really delicious, it's gonna be a really nice component that's gonna be amazing on these Portobello burgers. So let's do it. The jam is looking pretty well, nice and reduced here. This is a very flavorful onion jam. It's a little sweet, and that's on purpose because the flavors that we have going on, it's going to blend very well with everything else we have going. So we're just going to let that sit here, stay a little bit warm. If it reduces down a little bit more, that's fine. As long as it doesn't burn, you're okay. So we got a grill preheated here, and it's going to be about 350 to 400. And what we're going to do is we're just going to throw these mushrooms on there, stem side up first for about 4 minutes. What you'll notice is you'll see some of that liquid starting to come out more than there already is. And what I did was, while these were marinating, I flipped them a couple times just to make sure that the marinade got throughout all the mushroom there. So we're just gonna throw these on here real quick, and I saved the marinade. So we're just gonna let these guys hang out for about 3-4 minutes there. And then we're gonna come back, flip them, do another 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're gonna pop them in the oven at a 350 for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until they're nice and tender, and then it's time to eat. This is the marinade, and what I did was I let it come to a boil with all the fun stuff inside of it, and then I just poured it into another pot after it came to a boil, and we're gonna let that just kind of sit there for a second, get a little bit more flavor in it by just reducing down a little bit more, and then we're gonna actually throw a cornstarch slurry in there. What slurry is just starch in a little bit of water, or cornstarch in the liquid you were trying to thicken. Just mix a little bit of that together, and then you pour it back into what you're trying to thicken. What will happen is that will actually thicken up. Cornstarch is a really nice thickener, and it's used for those purposes, so that's what we're going to do here. So these have been in the oven for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to check to see if they're done just by taking a knife, and then you're just going to snap them there. And they still got a little bit of give, so they need another 5 minutes or so. But with these last 5 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and top them there with the cheese. And again, this is Havarti cheese, because you can't have a burger without cheese. I'm just going to pop these back in the oven for another 5 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna go and throw it on 6 minutes, and then it should be ready to eat. We're gonna get some buns toasted in that meantime. Just throw them back on the grill after you pull the mushrooms off. You can toast them whenever you pull them out of the oven that first time to check. And then whenever you throw the mushrooms back in, go ahead and toast your buns because everyone likes toasty buns. The mushrooms are done. The cheese is melted. We're gonna pull it out. We're gonna actually assemble one of these burgers. I'll show you how I do it. So we got the mushrooms right there. They're nice and done. Everything's nice and tender there. Don't those look good? Cheese is all melted. You can still see a little bit of the sauce there. So what I do to make a burger, and this is anytime I do a burger regardless of what it is, I like to put a little bit of mayonnaise. I mean, maybe even not that. That's a lot, but I just like to spread a little bit of mayonnaise on the bottom bun. Doesn't have to cover it completely, but that fat layer will actually help any of the juices that are in burgers and or these mushrooms from going into the bottom bun and making it all soggy. So that's why I like to put mayo right there. So we're gonna take Mr. Mushroom, we're gonna slide him with that cheese side up right there. And then what I recommend, again, this is my recommendation on how to make this burger, I recommend is taking some of this lovely jam that we have, this lovely onion jam that we made, taking some of that, popping it right there on the burger. You can do as much as you want. I think I want that much. And then taking just a little spoonful or so of that sauce that we made, which is basically the marinade reduced. Just pour it on top of there. And here's the other thing that I like to do with burgers and things like that. If I'm not putting mayonnaise on the top bun, I put just a little bit of mustard. And I'm putting just a little bit of Dijon mustard on this top bun here. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the mayonnaise and spread it around. And that's just to get a little bit of Dijon in every bite. This only serves no purpose but that. But there it is. There's the burger. Now I'm gonna save you all from me being a Neanderthal. I'm actually gonna just cut this bad boy in half. And we're gonna take a gander at what is on the inside there. And you can see you got the mushroom and it looks really nice and good. It looks very cooked. Oh man, I can't wait to bite into this. This is gonna be good. All right, so here we go. This is gonna be the bite. This is gonna be the bite of the bites, okay? I'm not gonna lie. You can't even tell that's a vegetable. I mean, it's got so much flavor in it. We marinated it for that long. It's got a lot of flavor in it, but I'm gonna dive into these. Guys, I thank you so much for watching this episode. We're gonna enjoy these burgers. They're really good. And I thought that'd be a really nice way to kind of lead into fall because you still have the grill available. It's still ready to be used, but mushrooms are really more of a fallish kind of thing because they got a nice hearty, earthy flavor to them, and that's also what's associated with fall. So I figured we'd blend both worlds here, the end of summer, the beginning of fall. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Feel free to leave a like and subscription. I thank you so much. This is Chef Tad. Bye.